Severe thunderstorms ongoing across much of central and eastern Kentucky. We'll track the very latest just ahead.
Democratic presidential candidate Hillary Clinton visits Lexington. What she discussed with parents during a visit to the Family Care Center.
Lexington police are searching for 3 young men they say robbed this bank this afternoon.
This is WKYT News at 5.
Good afternoon to you. We have a line of strong and severe storms moving across the state right now.
So let's go right to our chief meteorologist, Chris Bailey, who is tracking the situation on this WKYT First Alert Severe Weather Day.
Yeah, very busy out there, guys. Waves of thunderstorms coming at us. Severe thunderstorm watch continues until 8 o'clock, as we've been saying. This will likely get extended a little deeper into the evening and likely press into parts of eastern Kentucky before the night is over. Defender Radar Network, waves of thunderstorms. Wave 1 into northern Kentucky. Wave 2 is the stronger, and then we've got an additional wave back to our west. Numerous counties are now under severe thunderstorm warnings with this particular line as it races its way to the east and northeast. Flash flood warning is out for the Elizabethtown area, where we're getting flooding now coming out of the downtown E-Town area. We look toward this new severe thunderstorm warning. That includes parts of Boyle County, Marion County, Mercer, and Washington County. It is just to the west of Harrodsburg, just to the west of Danville, right on top of Perryville, but that does include Springfield and Lebanon. Another severe thunderstorm warning, Anderson, Nelson, Spencer, and Washington counties for another 15 minutes or so until 5:15. This is a large-scale producing thunderstorm, and it is putting down a tremendous amount of water right now. Defender Radar Network is still picking up on a little bit of circulation within that, and over the next hour, the cone takes that close to Interstate 75 into parts of central Kentucky. So the main threat from this so far has been some large hail. Defender is also tracking up to tennis ball size hail moving across parts of Nelson County. Now, it's not as strong as what we were seeing a little bit ago with the hail returns, but overall it can still put down golf ball to up to tennis ball size hail in the absolute worst case scenario. A lot of reports of some hail covering the ground. Bluegrass region, it is noisy, but none of the storms across central Kentucky are considered to be severe. We've got some rain in Versailles, Midway, Georgetown, and Frankfort, into the Sadieville area, over towards Cynthiana, Harrison County, and points northeast from there. Showers and thunderstorms are beginning to flare up out ahead of that line from Carlisle into parts of Bourbon County. Western Kentucky, man, oh man. This one lone thunderstorm, that's a supercell, that has produced a tornado. It looks like it is finally beginning to weaken just a little bit, but that has produced a confirmed tornado causing damage into parts of western Kentucky, and that tornado warning out for the western half or western parts of Kentucky as of now. Locally, as we go through the evening, it's hail and high winds, the primary player. Flooding, though, that threat is certainly up there, and it's a smaller tornado threat. And the future radar this evening will show another round of some thunderstorms impacting the region, guys, middle and latter part of this bumpy Tuesday evening. We'll continue to watch the skies, and if we get more warnings, we'll break in and pass them along.
Thank you, Chris. The race for the Democratic presidential nomination came through Kentucky again today.
Hillary Clinton came to Lexington for a private event at the Family Care Center. WKYT Sean Moody was there as Clinton addressed parents' concerns. It's our top story at 5.
Hillary Clinton praised the Family Care Center and talked about how important child care was to working families. She also heard concerns from parents. Several parents from the Family Care Center in Lexington were invited to this private discussion with Hillary Clinton. She wanted to hear their concerns and talk to them about challenges facing working parents.
That is the most important job any of us will ever do, and we just have to be more supportive of each other. And I think there's a role for the federal government, the state, the local government, both county and city.
Clinton says she's found some parents are paying as much as college tuition to keep their kids in child care. She's proposed subsidies to ease the burden.
I don't think any family should have to pay more than 10% of their income for child care. That ought to be just a rule, and you ought to get help if you're getting too close to that or going above it.
After about an hour discussion, some parents said they were still undecided on a candidate, but liked what they heard today.
At this point, we're still deciding. I do agree with a lot of the policies and things that she stands on, so it's a possibility.
After she left here, Clinton headed on to Louisville for another campaign event. In Lexington, Sean Moody, WKYT.
Former Kentucky Governor Steve Beshear endorsed Clinton today. Kentucky's Democrats will get their chance to vote in the presidential primary next Tuesday. Today, our neighbors in West Virginia, along with voters in Nebraska, had their turn.
And even though she trails in the delegate count, Hillary Clinton's challenger says he is not giving up yet. Craig Boswell has today's campaign 2016 headlines.
Bernie Sanders insists the fight is not over.
We have a chance to end up with a majority of the pledged delegates. And if we do that, I think you are looking at the Democratic nominee for president.
He's leading in West Virginia polls as ballots are cast Tuesday, but significantly trails Hillary Clinton in the overall delegate count. Clinton now has 93% of the delegates needed to clinch the nomination. Meanwhile, Donald Trump is running unopposed in the West Virginia and Nebraska primaries. The presumptive GOP nominee is headed to Capitol Hill Thursday to begin pulling together a splintered Republican Party.
It's a long time till November, but the early indications are that our nominee is likely to be very competitive.
His biggest hurdle could be winning over House Speaker Paul Ryan, who has yet to endorse Trump.
They have to come out with a statement that leaves nothing to the imagination.
Republican strategist Brad Blakeman says Trump also has to step up fundraising and select just the right running mate.
We're never going to win New York. We're never going to win California. We must have a ticket that broadens the appeal of Donald Trump.
Trump's campaign manager, Corey Lewandowski, has been tapped to head up the search for vice president. Craig Boswell, CBS News, Washington.
In an interview with the Associated Press, Trump says he's narrowed his list of potential running mates to 5 or 6 people, all with deep political resumes.
Police are trying to track down 3 men involved in a bank robbery. They say one of them covered his face with a Captain America mask. The robbery happened just before noon at the City National Bank on Walden Drive off Tates Creek. WKYT's Kristen Kennedy is talking to police about that strange description.
Tellers at City National Bank had a frightening experience just before noon. Police say 3 men with faces covered ran inside and demanded cash. One of the 3 had a gun.
One of them was described as having a gray sweatshirt, one had a yellow sweatshirt, and the other had a Captain America sweatshirt with a Captain America mask.
Lieutenant Jeremy Tuttle says the men looked very young. They think they were anywhere from 18 to 24 years old, possibly even younger. And even though they had a gun, he says the group didn't fire it.
Nobody was hurt, no injuries, just a little shaken up from the experience.
Police tell us the 3 men left the bank, ran into these woods, and ended up getting into a car on a neighboring street.
And a witness said they got into a black hatchback and fled the area.
That area is here on Sherrard Circle. A neighbor told us he saw 3 men running back behind his home toward a car. So far, police haven't been able to track down the men or the car. In Lexington, Kristen Kennedy, WKYT.
Now, we ask for images of the robbers to show you to see if you recognize the 3 involved. Lexington police say they won't give us those images because the surveillance video they say that they have does not show descriptive features. Police plan to charge a man who was injured in a shooting. Lexington police were called to Kildare Court around 6:55 this morning, where they say they found a man in a front yard with multiple gunshot wounds. Police say his former girlfriend shot him in self-defense. They tell us she had an active domestic violence order against him. The man was taken to UK hospital with serious injuries.
Police arrested a woman they say ran over a pedestrian while driving under the influence. Our county-by-county coverage begins in Madison County. Berea police say 40-year-old Jackie Littman hit the man on Chestnut Street yesterday. Both Littman and the victim were taken to UK hospital. Littman is charged with DUI and assault. In Johnson County, a visit from social services landed a woman in jail. The sheriff's office says a social worker and a deputy found items used to make and ingest drugs in Julie Jones' home. There were 2 children there as well. Jones faces wanton endangerment and drug charges.
A plea for help today in the murders of a family, what investigators are asking for. Millions of people have college loans, but not many know there are programs out there to forgive some of that debt. We'll show you how they work in Better Living.
And it is a very stormy evening across central and eastern Kentucky. The very latest on the increasing severe weather threat in just a moment. When severe storms roll in, we go to work to keep you and your family safe with continuous coverage on air, on WKYT.com, and wherever you are with our news and weather apps. First Alert Severe Weather Days, only on WKYT.
3 new kinds of jaw-dropping primetime burgers, only at Frisch's Big Boy.
What the hell? You heard that right. Recent storms caused slight damage, and you benefit at the Frankfurt Toyota What the Hail sale.
What the hail?
Frankfurt Toyota has new Toyotas and top quality used vehicles just slightly damaged. And the damage to the vehicles is so small and the savings are so big you don't want to miss Frankfurt Toyota's What the Hail sale. When they're gone, they're gone. Hurry in for the best selection. Frankfurt Toyota's What the Hail sale.
Hi. I need something that can keep up with all my adventures.
Well, the RAV4 has available Sport Tune suspension.
I like the sound of that.
And great handling, so it can do just about anything.
Thanks, Jan. This is exactly what I'm looking for.
I know.
Do you?
Yep.
Now, during Toyota time, get 0 for 60 financing on any new RAV4. Lease this RAV4 LE for $199 a month, or this first ever RAV4 Hybrid for $229 a month.
Here are your keys.
Thanks.
See you out there.
Sweet.
Toyota, let's go places.
Only $29.95.
What? You're not buying this. Come on. No.
Awesome.
No, too expensive.
Cut it out. This is embarrassing.
Come on, open up.
You never let me have any fun. Hey, what about a vacation? At Allegiant.com, we can get a great deal on flights and more, and that's fun.
How come most of the time I can't get you to open up, but going on vacation is okay?
One word, Allegiant.
Listen to your wallet and visit Allegiant.com now.
At Paul Miller Ford, we want all our customers to drive happy.
I am Paul Miller's #1 fan.
My experience buying a car from Paul Miller was great. They were very friendly. My salesman was awesome.
That's why we're honored to win our 3rd Ford President's Award for Customer Satisfaction.
Head on down to Paul Miller. They will take care of you and treat you right.
Come visit our President's Award sales event and save with 0% financing for 60 months on select Ford vehicles like Bills. Point, click, drive at paulmillerford.com.
Three new kinds of jaw-dropping primetime burgers, only at Frisch's Big Boy.
Get WKYT news and weather updates on News Radio 630 WLAP.
WKYT First Alert severe weather day continues. Severe thunderstorm watch is out for much of the area through 8 o'clock this evening, likely to be expanded a little deeper into the evening and into parts of eastern Kentucky as well. Defender Radar Network, rounds of thunderstorms, also watching a few little storms trying to pop here southern Kentucky between London and Somerset. But the strongest storms, without question, this little cluster that is taking aim at the Bluegrass region over the next hour and change. Intense thunderstorms putting down enough rain to create some flooding here across parts of Nelson or into Hardin County, likely into Nelson County next. Severe thunderstorm warnings are out there as well. Severe thunderstorm warning through 5:30, parts of Boyle, Marion, Mercer, and Washington counties. Now, that doesn't include Harrisburg or Danville yet. I suspect that will change here over the next 15-20 minutes or so. Big-time hail-producing thunderstorm is between Bardstown and Springfield. Severe thunderstorm warning to the north of that is expiring here in just a matter of a few minutes. That may be extended a little farther to the east as well. Defender Radar Network says the strongest part of this storm working toward the east and will impact parts of Harrodsburg and maybe Nicholasville over the next hour. Whenever you see the cone here showing up, that's where the radar network is saying that's where it should be in 1 hour from now. So that's the path it is currently on, heading into parts of central Kentucky. Let's go back to 3D Defender mode to show you how the thunderstorms are really spiking up. And look at the little storm that's on the heels of the initial severe weather producer that is also now beginning to spike up. A little closer inspection on this storm that's not too far away from the Gravel Switch area. That is heading toward Danville and the Perryville area. Up close and personal. Boy, you see a thunderstorm like that that is spiking way up in the atmosphere, roughly 40,000 feet or greater. Tapping that cold air, that is likely a large hail producer. Perryville, that is 15-20 minutes or so away from really impacting our weather. Notice now how the tops of those thunderstorms into central Kentucky nowhere near as tall as what we are seeing to the southwest of the Lexington area. So across central Kentucky, it's general shower and thunderstorm action that we're seeing. Heavy rain into the Frankfort area and across the Lawrenceburg area. We get into sections of Georgetown and Northeast dealing with showers and thunderstorms here. Nothing is severe. Let's take you to a live shot right now from the Kentucky Horse Park area, Ironworks Pike, and we're looking toward one of those general springtime thunderstorms on top of the Bluegrass region, hearing thunder over top the station as we speak. But that's one of the storms rumbling into the Lexington area right now. It is not considered to be severe, but it will put down some lightning, very heavy rain, and maybe some pea-sized hail. Tornado warnings into western Kentucky, where we have two thunderstorms now that are tornadic. The one on the southern end of this into parts of Graves and Marshall County, producing a lot of damage earlier. Have a picture to show you of that particular tornado from a little earlier out of Graves County into western Kentucky. And again, a lot of damage reports coming from sections of western Kentucky, from the Benton area and over toward just a few miles to the north of Fancy Farm. Political folks know that all too well. Live sky cams now across central and eastern Kentucky. Wet in Frankfort, Louisville, down to E-Town, where you've got some flooding ongoing. Skies beginning now to darken across the Lexington area. Downtown Lexington, somewhere in the distance here are some heavy rains beginning to press on into town. A little flash of lightning there as well. Bullseye for the severe weather is right on top of central and eastern Kentucky as we go through the evening. That enhanced risk, slight risk for southern and eastern parts of the area. Isolated tornado a possibility. Rainfall totals with this. Models jump around based on the latest trends for the thunderstorms, but over the next 48 hours, this model, with every round of storms that comes through here, is spitting out anywhere from an inch to upwards of 4, 5, maybe local 6-inch amounts. You got a juicy atmosphere. We're not done with the thunderstorms after we go through the evening. Additional rounds are with us as we go into Thursday and Thursday night. Thursday may hit 85 degrees before a big cool down by the time we go into the start of the weekend. 60 degrees for a high temperature as we make our way into Saturday with still some showers and thunderstorms, guys.
Certainly a busy night ahead of us for you guys and the entire weather team.
Yeah, it really is. And, you know, we've got the severe weather around here. We'll keep you updated all evening long. Right now, no active warnings in central Kentucky. That may change in the next little bit.
All right, Chris, thank you.
And you have a chance to help WKYT keep an eye on the weather. We'll tell you about that opportunity next.
Police have started an investigation after a man's body was found in a cave. Hear from the man who made the discovery on WKYT News at 5:30.
Kentucky mornings start here. Breaking and overnight news, weather to plan your day, plus traffic you can take with you. Make WKYT This Morning part of your Kentucky morning. Weekdays from 4:30 to 7 on WKYT.
Right now, at the all-new Big M Chrysler Dodge Jeep Ram, get up to $5,000 over Kelley Blue Book fair market value for any trade. During the spring clearance event, new 2015 Jeep Renegade Sports, just $189 a month. Visit BigMSuperstore.com.
Before contemplating the many choices on Steak and Shake's $4 menu, one must calm the mind in our Zen garden. Focus. The garlic double steak burger meal. Reflect. The taco salad meal. Zen. The original double and cheese steak burger meal.
Oh!
The $4 menu, where all meals are under $4 at Steak and Shake.
Clients come into the office. The government has said, no, I don't believe you. You're not disabled.
The major problem with Social Security disability is that most people who sign up are denied at the initial level. If your claim's denied, don't give up. Call us immediately. We'll appeal your case.
We can do an effective job of representing you that will get you the benefits that you deserve.
Call Morgan, Collins, and Yeast, 1-800-55-WILDCAT.
All across America, families are coming back to Time Warner Cable for a whole new experience.
We came back for internet speeds so fast, even the kids are impressed. Oh, she's impressed.
We're catching up on movies and shows on demand just as fast as we can watch them.
TWC's home Wi-Fi is so strong, we can use all our devices at the same time.
Come back today. You'll get 100 meg internet, TV, phone, and more for $89.99 a month. And ask how you could get a $300 reward card. Call now.
Shake it on down to Myrtle Beach, South Carolina for the 2nd annual Carolina Country Music Fest, June 9th through the 12th. The Southeast's hottest music event. Rock out with country music's hottest stars like Keith Urban, Tim McGraw, Florida Georgia Line, plus many more. Sandy beaches, sun-kissed skin, and a can't-miss country music event. We'll see you where the music meets the ocean front at the Carolina Country Music Fest, June 9th through 12th. Book your trip now at visitmyrtlebeach.com.
Right now, at the all-new Big M Chrysler Dodge Jeep Ram, get up to $5,000 over Kelley Blue Book fair market value for any trade. During Ram Truck Month, new 2016 Ram, Bighorn Crew Cab 4-wheel drives are only $199 a month. Visit BigMSuperstore.com.
Hey, newly issued severe thunderstorm warning that will go until 5:45. Anderson, Boyle, Mercer, and parts of Woodford County included in this as well. This includes Harrodsburg and the Danville area. Severe thunderstorm warning until 5:45. This storm rolling its way out of the Willisburg area toward the east. Large hail, damaging winds, and potentially some stream and some street flooding.
A plea for help today from investigators trying to solve the murders of 8 family members. The victims were all shot and killed at 4 homes in Piketon, Ohio, about 2 weeks ago. Ohio's Attorney General and the county sheriff are asking any residents or businesses with video from April 21st or 22nd to share it with them. Investigators say they've received more than 500 tips in this case.
If you enjoy tracking the weather, we want you to be part of our team.
That's right. We're inviting current and future WKYT weather watchers to a special event tonight. WKYT meteorologist Jim Caldwell is at the Kentucky Theater to explain. Hi, Jim.
Where the rain is already coming down, Sam, we're tracking it right here, of course, in the downtown area, as Chris was talking about on the Defender Radar Network. You can see what we've got here at the moment, but don't let that deter you from staying away. A little shower popped up out ahead of the main line. You can come down, and we've even had to move our tent back a little bit to keep it nice and safe so things didn't blow away. So we're here. All you got to do is find us. You see that's our news director. That's the big boss man sitting right there. He's good-looking guy right there. I really like him a lot. Of course, I would say that with him sitting here. He doesn't really like me on camera. That's why he's the news director and one of our interns here. But we are ready for y'all to come down. Show starts at 7:30. Our pregame will begin at 7 o'clock. We'll have a little presentation for you to get all those weather watchers ready and prepared, and maybe prepared for tonight. So it's a little bit dicey out there, we know, guys. Live in downtown Lexington, I'm meteorologist Jim Caldwell.
All right, always good to see the boss working really, really hard out there. Remember, you can always send us your weather pictures via our Facebook and Twitter pages. The NAACP holds a demonstration outside Lexington Catholic High School. What they're demanding from the school's leaders on WKYT News at 5:30.
If you are dealing with student loan debt, there might be a way to have some of it forgiven. We'll show you the program in Better Living.
Get WKYT news and weather updates on News Radio 630 WLAP.
You may be entitled to $1,500 for each call you've received from any company collecting a debt. Seems too good to be true, but it's the law.
Wouldn't it be great to know what your car payment will be before you visit the dealership?
Thanks to Your Deal, Your Way, now available exclusively at PaulMillerMazda.com. You can pick your payment and negotiate the best price for your new Mazda.
This is the easy, convenient, and private way to get your deal your way.
Visit PaulMillerMazda.com to get the deal you love online.
Your deal, your way.
Points, click, save. PaulMillerMazda.com.
It's been said the origin of modern golf can be traced to Scotland. Known for its highlands and lowlands, early golfers had to adjust from mountainous terrains to the lowest valleys if they wanted to compete. While we don't expect you to dust off the old kilt, we do invite you to play around at the 2 most distinct courses in Kentucky, Stonecrest and the Paintsville Golf Course. Visit Paintsville and Prestonsburg today. Mention this ad and save 20% on tee times and lodging.
All summer long, your road to refreshment leads to Speedway. And now that Speedway's grown throughout the Midwest, Northeast, and Southeast, nobody has a handle on your summer fun better than Speedway. From the sunny shores of Florida to New York City, from the Carolinas to the New England coast, your road to refreshment leads to Speedway. And with your Speedway app, there's always a Speedway nearby and a chance to win prizes with every visit on your trip.
We're on your way, the convenience stores of Speedway.
Now, a 32-ounce Speedy Freezer fountain drink's just 89 cents.
Don?
Ned?
Trump?
Cruz?
Congress?
Mike Pape. You?
Yeah, Mike Pape. Unlike James Comer, who refuses to repeal Obamacare, Mike Pape will repeal Obamacare.
And unlike Comer, who's for Obama's amnesty, Mike Pape is against amnesty and will build the wall.
Mike Pape is a trusted conservative.
He'll make America great again.
I'm Mike Pape, and I approve this message.
Taller grass has fewer weeds and needs less water. Mow better, Lexington.
Welcome to Toyota Time. Tons of awesome vehicles. Great deals for everyone. Thanks. Low APR financing. Woo! Here's your balloon.
Coffee.
Shoulders. Water.
No.
I have the best team. Oh, here I come.
Now, during Toyota Time, get a Sienna with the best resale value in its class and 0% financing for 60 months. Or lease Sienna for $279 a month.
Here you go. And here I go.
Toyota, let's go places.
It is time now for Better Living, health, education, and consumer news that impacts your life. A former head of the Food and Drug Administration calls the nation's opioid epidemic one of the great mistakes of modern medicine. Sales of opioid painkillers quadrupled from 1999 to 2014, and along with it, the number of overdose deaths. Dr. David Kessler led the FDA from 1990 to 2007. He says the agency, pharmaceutical companies, and doctors have all played a role in the explosion in opioid use.
There was a notion that pain was the fifth vital sign, that you wanted to relieve pain, that was essential. You dosed until the pain was alleviated.
Dr. Kessler says 2/3 of prescriptions are written by well-intended doctors trying to do what's best for their patients. The Centers for Disease Control issued guidelines for the first time this past March, but Kessler says it will take a societal shift to truly change the epidemic. If you have college loan debt, you are not alone. The latest government numbers show 7 out of 10 college graduates have loans, and up to 25% are behind on their payments. As Kenneth Craig shows us, experts say many are not taking advantage of programs that can erase thousands of dollars in debt.
Leah Burke racked up nearly $140,000 in student loan debt by the time she finished grad school.
I just figured that it would always be juggling and balancing and trying to make ends meet every month while making these loan payments.
The payments became an even greater challenge when she left the corporate world for a lower-paying job at this nonprofit New York City college.
I am the Associate Director of Alumni Relations.
But the move turned out to be a blessing. Burke learned about the government's Public Service Loan Forgiveness Program. It wipes away college debt for educators, soldiers, firefighters, and many others with public service jobs after they make 10 years of payments.
I had to pull over when they told me how much I would be forgiven from my federal student loans.
And that was how much?
In the range of $25,000 to $30,000.
It's huge.
Yeah.
The government estimates the program could help a quarter of the U.S. workforce.
We know that tens of millions of borrowers could be eligible for significant forgiveness. Only a few 100,000 have signed up.
I think that this is one piece of the puzzle of maybe figuring out how to take that burden away.
The program only applies to federal loans. Leah is still on the hook for her private student loan debt. But after struggling to pay off her education for years, she can finally see a light at the end of the tunnel. Kenneth Craig, CBS News, New York.
The Consumer Financial Protection Bureau advises people with student loans to contact their lender to find out if they might be eligible for loan forgiveness. Now, here's what's coming up for you at 5:30.